In the building. In the building. In the building. The Big Time Show once again is in the building. What's going on tonight is Monday night. Rare when I get a good chance to come on my regular night that I've done for so many years. Here I am. Good to see you tonight. Glad to see you, whoever's in here. Appreciate all of you that have come to come hang with your boy. What's going on? Those of you that are on YouTube, what's going on? Those of you that are on the Big Time Show, what is going on? Those of you that are on Kick, what's going on? And those of you that may be watching by Twitter tonight, appreciate all of you guys for coming to hang with your boy on the night. Let's do some Cowboys talk before we begin. Why don't you share it, number one? Then if you do me a favor, it won't cost you anything. Why don't you hit why don't you hit that like button for me, if you don't mind? Hit that like button for me. Okay, that's better. I was on mute. I don't know why I'm on mute. Hey, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Got some superstars in the building already. See how you are. Hey, if you're on Twitter, hit that blue heart button. If you're on YouTube, hit that heart button. If you want to use the super chat, you can. Right there on the ticker at the bottom, you see some of the information that you can use. If you want to use the Cash App, it's obviously $, the Big Time Show. You can do that. I'm still sharing out to some of these cowboy groups that I'm in. See if somebody want to talk Cowboys talk. I realize that a lot of my brothers are on or getting ready to come on. And you know, you just got to get in where you fit in. What's up, Coach Bree Love? Coach Bree Love in the building. I see one of my best friends in the world is in here, Marlon Haynes. And Kales is in the building. Oh my goodness. Oh, I just these three people alone, since these are the only three that have spoken to me. Just these three people alone. I got two coaches in here, Marlon and Coach Bree Love. And then I got the statistician and insider, the great Kales, is in the building. I got enough just to do a show right here. We can talk cowboy talk all day long because I got some very knowledgeable people in here already. Let's talk quickly. What I want to start off with is the predictableness of a player that has exceeded. What's up, Daryl? A player that has exceeded his contract, if you want to say that, and has elevated himself into another stratosphere as far as money goes. I'll eliminate the drama. I'm talking about George Pickens, who has come to Dallas and in 1 year has lived up and exceeded the expectations of what I guess maybe some people thought would happen. I think most people thought he would have a good year, but nobody thought he would be an all-pro. He's getting ready for the Pro Bowl, of course, but what a lot of people did not think was that this dude was going to be an all-pro. Just in case you didn't know, he's second team all-pro this year to put on the resume. And of course, as everybody knows, he was in his contract year. He produced. It's obvious he deserves a raise. Whether it's how many years, or if it's the franchise tag. What's going on, Justin? I see you, brother. Thanks for popping in on me. Whether it's the franchise tag, whether it's a long-term deal, the bottom line is he deserves a raise. I think everybody would agree with that. He's one of the better guys, one of the better wide receivers in the league. He's one of the better teammates on the team as of this year. This dude was a stellar teammate. Loved playing, obviously. Him and CD, of course, have a great connection. Him and Dak, of course, have a great connection. No complaints since he's been on this team. A lot of people thought he was going to be cuckoo and lose his mind and all that type of stuff. He shut all that stuff down. No problems at all other than him being late, for a meeting and all that type of stuff. That, got disciplined by the coach. And I'm not going to try to blow that off because that is somewhat of that is a big deal. It is a big deal. You know how it is. So But that's really not my point. I think it's when you kind of weigh the good and the bad, I think the good far outweighs the bad. And I just really believe that. And so a dude on our team is the same movie, just different faces. Up to leave, I see you. 3110 Man Ruth. Well, I guess you're a hater. You coming in saying 31 years. Yeah, you're right. And then I see some dude that came in with a crazy comment. I'm just going to let him try to figure it out and try to get right on his own. If not, then I'm going to get rid of him. You know who I'm talking about. But anyway, let me just say this. Hey, S Rapper, my mother is dead. So just remember I said that, okay? My mother is dead. So, nice little comment there. You don't know nothing. You probably come in trolling, but just be careful with your next statement. All right. If you want to stay here, I'm just saying I ain't got time for all that. I'm just gonna break. I just wanted to let you know how serious I am. My mother is gone just a couple years ago. So just remember that. Before you type something now, just remember that. I just said my mother's gone. All right. Anyway, get him off here. I can. Okay. Now, here's the part that I told y'all the last time, that we're slowly but surely getting ready to enter into the world of where Stephen and Jerry Jones come into play. I told you that. Coaching staff is being filled out. I think everybody's excited about, especially defensively, the hires that have been done. We don't know too much about the coaches. We're just glad to see something new and new and innovative, and you're trying to project and all that type of stuff. And you're not feeling bad about Christian Parker and the people that he's hiring. So that part, you don't hear too many complaints about that. But now, once you get the coaching part out the way and you get all the hiring of coaches, now we start entering the world of the players, whether that's by free agency or whether that's by the draft. And this is where Stephen and Jerry enter into play. If you want to add something to it, you add Will McClay in. This is their lane. I for one do not charge Will McClay. I think overall, he's done an excellent job as far as getting talent in here. Yeah, I see you, Kels. I hadn't put moderators on my stuff yet. I should. So y'all can just shoot them all down. But I got control over it over here. I can block them out. That ain't no problem. I give people a chance to get right. That's just in my nature. But if they don't, then I take care of them. I don't blame Will. I think Will, when you look at the resume of Will McClay over the last, I'll just say 10 years or so, scouting department and all that, I think he's done a great job for me. The Cowboys, lead over the last God knows how many years in Pro Bowl selections and multiple All-Pros in different positions and repeated All-Pros. Will McClay is a part of that. He's done the scouting. He's made the suggestions. They've selected some of these people, and the talent level speaks for itself. Cowboys have always been known as one of the most talented teams in the NFL. We've heard that for years. Just can't put it together to win. But the talent level is not even a question. So I don't never blame Will. But when it comes to free agency, re-signing players, all of the, the drafting, Will has a lot to do with the drafting as well. But when it comes to free agency and re-signing players, I'll be irresponsible if I say it is all on Jerry and Steven, but it is a lot on them. As far as because they're the ones, especially Steven, the ones that is looking at this salary cap and being cheap and all of that. This is what they do. However, there's a problem, and it's already starting. It's light, but it's starting. If you're a follower of the Cowboys like I am, and you listen to everything and notice little signs and all that type of stuff, you will have heard in the last couple days, really yesterday, that Stephen Jones has already started George Pickens. If you listen to George is saying all the right things. Yes, I want to be a Cowboy, and hopefully things work out for the best. And my agent talks for me. These are things that he needs to say. And then, hopefully it works out for the best. I want to be a Dallas Cowboy. This is what he's saying. You got Dak Prescott saying, I want you. Yeah, it makes no difference. George got to be a Cowboy next year. CD, of course, wants George Pickens on this team. I'm quite sure those are not the only two that want George Pickens on this team. I believe the cheerleaders want George Pickens on this team. The people that serve hot dogs and beer, they want George. Everybody wants George Pickens on this team. Come on now. This is not hard to figure out as far as do we want them or do we not. The question is, how are we going to get it done? And that remains to be seen. The common sense tells you that if it's long term, you know where you're going to have to pay him. You know how you're going. You got to pay him. You got to pay him. And when I say pay him, we're talking, the $30+ million. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna do long term. Then, of course, on the other hand, as most of you know by now, we can franchise him, and the franchise tag is $28 million. And you got until, I believe, Kale's helped me out if I'm not mistaken. I think it's July the 15th is the deadline before the franchise tag would go in, would lock in for the year. So we got a little ways to go before, even if they do franchise him early, you realize you got enough until July the 15th, I believe I'm right on that date, to get a deal done long term. Or you have to go ahead and put the $28 million on your cap for that 1 year. So that's where we are. That's where we are. And if you've been on my show, I've been saying it forever. What's going on? What's up, Common Sense? Appreciate y'all, man, for popping in. Scott, I see you, man. Thank you so much for popping in. I've been saying on my show for a long time, the idea of Jerry Jones paying 2 wide receivers $30 million plus at the same time, I just can't see Jerry doing it because he's too cheap. Stephen Jones too cheap. I've been saying that forever. And I just don't see it happen. I don't see George Pickens signing anything under $30 million at least, and $30 million may be too low. I just don't see it. And I think that, to me, I've been saying it from the beginning that the Cowboys were going to use a franchise tag on him, and he would play on the franchise tag. And all we can do is pray to God and hopefully that he has the same attitude as he had this year. That's the only thing we can hope for. I just don't see Jerry doing it. It's just not what they do. I hope that they pay him long term and get it out the way, and everybody gonna be real happy and all that type of stuff. But be playing on a franchise tag, there's a little tension there. Yeah, you're getting $28 million, but it's tension there if you're playing on it. Because if you tear your knee up, are they going to pay you long term? I believe that's what happened to Michael Gallup, if I'm not mistaken. Cowboys decided to pay him, but they paid him because he was cheap. Pickens is very young, man. He's 20. I don't know. How old? Somebody here, how old is George Pickens? Is he 23, 24 years old, something like that? He's very young. Coach Breedlove, that is going to happen. And you know, that right there is going to happen. It's definitely got to happen with Dak. Dak's cap hit, if they don't do anything, is $74 million. That's not going to happen. They got to pay. They got to restructure Dak. CDs, I believe, is over 30 million on the cap if they don't do nothing with him. So those two would, you know, I would think that they are going to be restructured, and that would free up, you know, some money right there. But here's the question in your question, Coach. With that money, is the money that they're restructuring for? Is it to pay Pickens and have money for free agency, or is their mind already made up on the tag? See, the Jones ain't stupid now. They know how much they're gonna have to pay Pickens if they do long term. They know that. The question is, do they want to do it? And then they got in their back pocket the franchise tag. So I wouldn't be surprised they've already kind of made up their mind. They know. They got to know Pickens is going to get paid north of $30 million if they do long term. 28 almost sound like a bargain for that type of talent. If he plays the way that he played last year, $28 million is a steal. But Lord Jesus, the next year if you have another All-Pro year, oh man, he gonna break the bank on you. You might well bag up the might as well, goodness, you might as well bag the Brinks truck. There's your answer there. Y'all see my girl Kels. She comes with the accuracy that I'm looking for. And I think I was right. July 15th. You have see it right there. Read what she says. Clubs can start designating exclusive and non-exclusive franchise tags on February 17th. So we're not far from it at all. The window closes on February 28th. That is the end date. So before February 28th or on the 28th, either the Cowboys will have something done at least without the threat of a franchise tag. But if not, they can put that tag on him and he'll have the tag on him. And then you got from March 11th through July the 15th. So if you know the Jones family like you know them, you know they're going to carry this thing on. All right? Y'all know that. It may, if there is going to be a long-term deal, it probably would be on July the 15th on the dot. That's Jerry Jones. Got to have some headlines if that's the case. But either way, if it's not the case on July the 15th or the 16th, you will know that he won't have a long-term deal. And you do know that he will be on the franchise tag for the year. And then we got to see how all this, you know, the tension and all that type of stuff. You know, mysterious hamstring injuries, and I don't think George liked that. I hope, you know, I'm just saying I've seen this movie before with other players, and it is what it is. So we ain't gonna act like we don't know that players get hurt all of a sudden when they don't get their way with their contract. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's Pickens because I ain't seen him. This be the first time we'll see, but we've seen him before. So there you go with that. But the part that I want to talk about real quickly is Steven. You know, Steven answered the question. There was a reporter that asked him the question about, of course, the George Pickens situation, and Steven already starting the slight negotiations about, you know, you gotta entertain every detail. Technically, he's right. You know, even without George, that's what he said. Even playing without George, and I'm like, dude, come on. Why you even put that out there? Come on, though. Everybody know y'all. Y'all want George. The fan base want George. The players on these teammates want George. Why we got to start the drama? You ain't got you don't have any legs to stand on. The only thing you got over George in this whole negotiation is the franchise tag, and you may have a couple of instances where he was late for practice. That's all you got. Because you cannot say that there was no production on the field. You cannot say that he's not one of the best receivers in the game. You cannot say that he didn't go to work. You cannot say that he didn't perform without CD. Which without CD, he lost his mind. You can't say that the only reason why he's like this is because CD is on the other side. Well, we got games, we got tape that say without CD on the field, George Pickens lost his mind. He went crazy. So you can't say that. So you really, in negotiation, it's either you gonna pay him or you gonna franchise him. Ain't no sense of trying to do this world famous classic Dallas Cowboy bad mouth the player and thinking that they're just gonna bring the price down. And you ain't got to bad mouth him. George ain't do nothing. George was a model citizen this whole season. It's from day one. Ain't no sense of trying to bad mouth him like you did Dez, like you did Ezekiel Elliott, the list like you tried to do DeMarcus Lawrence. The list go on and on. They do this. They always try to make a villain. You ain't got to go to the press, try to make a villain out of the player like y'all always do. George Pickens ain't done nothing. Everybody knows. So we're not hearing that. And on this show, at least on this show, whenever they try to, because see, you ain't said nothing the whole year. Okay? See? Thank you for clarity, Kels. You see what you said. They missed curfew in Vegas. It wasn't late. They missed curfew. That's why they were suspended. Y'all remember that game? They set out the first series, both him and CD. That was the punishment. They were late. Okay, so look, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm on this show. Whenever they try to badmouth him, I'm coming back and gonna say the same thing. Well, you didn't say it why the games were going on. Y'all didn't say nothing. You ain't say nothing. Y'all, Jordan went out there and played his butt off. Dak loved him and all that. No, don't try to bring all that stuff up now. Try to air it out in the press. You know, no. On this show, that's exactly what I'm gonna say. Nope. Nope. He was not a cancer in the locker room. He wasn't. Nope. No, he was. No, he was not. Nope. Can't do that. Not on this show yet. I'm not gonna let you do it. So because this is the classic playbook of the Cowboys. This is what they do when they try to minimize the how much they want to pay a guy. They use the press to their advantage. They'll start using Bobby Belt and guys like that to try to throw out little seeds. Listen, start listening to 103.5 The Fan, 103 whatever, 103.5 The Fan. Listen, start listening to them and just watch for the little knocks every now and then. Just wait for it. You'll hear. You ain't heard stuff like what they getting ready to say all year. You gonna hear it all of a sudden because they essentially are the mouthpiece for the Jones family. They try to act like they're not, but they are. And at least on my show, I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let Stephen Jones badmouth that guy who has done nothing but put out all pro production for your team. That's all I'm saying. He played on a 1-year deal. It's his last year's contract. Ain't nothing guaranteed, and he put out all pro numbers on a 1-year deal. You know, well, not 1 year, but his last year on his rookie deal. That's what he did. He put it all out on the line. I'm not gonna let. And Steven started that little small little games they play. You know, you can say what you want to say about D-Law, and you can say what you want to say about Dez. You know, whatever you want to say about Ezekiel Elliott, even Zach Martin, when he skipped the line and got his money, you say whatever you want to say about them. Hey, whatever. You're not going to say it about George. George ain't done nothing wrong. And if George don't want to talk to you, that's his prerogative. He ain't like Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons want to talk to everybody. Michael Parsons want to be friendly with everybody. George ain't like that. George from the get-go was saying, listen, I let my agent do everything. Jerry Jones want to hold on to it. Like, I talk to the players. I talk to the players. You can talk to them all you want, but George gonna cut that stuff down. Look, I don't do no contract, Jerry. I don't say nothing about a contract. I got an agent, and the agent, of course, is the person. Is the person that nobody likes. If I'm not mistaken, am I right about that? Does he still have? Yeah, he still have my frat brother, Ogala. Hey, he still got him. That was Michael Parsons' agent too, the one that they say when Jerry tried to call him by his, the agent, because he don't like him. You got to like him now because you got to deal with him. And unlike Michael Parsons, George Pickens seems to be the type like, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Talk to my agent. I've been telling you from the beginning. Talk to my agent. I'm not. Talk to my agent. Talk to him. So you gonna have to meet him. You got to talk to him. Everybody do business different, and so that's gonna be interesting, considering the way that things worked out. The way things worked out with Michael Parsons. It's gonna be interesting to see. I didn't like that, and I could see the beginning stages of that. And that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. It seemed like the same old movie, and here we go again. Now, I got some information. I got some information from my best friend Marlon, one of my best friends, and I think we need to highlight this. So I'm not taking any credit for it. Marlon gave me a Cliff Note version, and I think he looked it up, and then after he told me about what I'm getting ready to tell you about, I looked it up, did my own research, and pretty much came up with the same thing that he had said. Now I'm just gonna read this to you. Okay, y'all ready for this? Because this may help you out. In your guessing of the 12th pick in the draft. First of all, I believe the Cowboys will pick at 12. A lot of you think they're going to use both of them. I'm one that says I'm not mad if we trade back just for the opportunity to get back maybe in the second or the third round. If you know the way it's set up now, the Cowboys draft 2 in the first round, then the next pick is all in the 4th round. I want to get back into that second, third round. I wouldn't be mad at all if we trade back in some kind of way, get one. Now, trade back don't mean you trade out of the first round. You could trade and still be in the first round with whatever team that traded up to get it. You may take their pick that may be later on in the first round. But in the process, you also probably going to pick up maybe a third round pick. And that way you got an extra pick in there. So I'm not mad at us trading back. I'm not mad at picking at 12 either. But I do believe the Cowboys will pick at 12. So here's what. Let me just ask this. Come here, y'all. Come here, chat. What position y'all think we're going to draft? What's up, JVB boy? What position do you think we're drafting at 12? Not the person. I need you to put the position. Come on, type that in. I just want to see where y'all at. Not the person. I know some of y'all gonna type in the person anyway. You be careful, JVB boy. The streets in Memphis are pretty good, but the neighborhoods are still iced down. We had a big snowstorm here. Daryl said offensive lineman. Okay, I'm feeling you on that. Daryl, I'll say this to you. I would say if Steele is let go of or released, I think offensive linemen come into play. Right tackle. That's me. Edward says corner or safety. Mike says DB. Talib says linebacker or corner. Studwood Cowboy says BPA. Ooh-wee. Yeah. Studwood, what if the best player available is a running back? What if it's Jeremiah Love? You cool with drafting best player available? If it's Jeremiah Love, that's what I want to know. Knowing the Cowboys don't pick no first round running back, I'm saying, but he might be the best player available on the board. But would you pick him at 12? That's about where Love gonna be at. I mean, Love probably gonna be one of the better players, unless he just bombs out at the combine. He's gonna be a high pick, rated, at least rated high. Are you cool with drafting it? Most of y'all got defense there. I see 2 offensive linemen, and then I got 1 neutral with the BPA. Everybody else, what do y'all think? Where do y'all want to go? I just want to know. Are y'all sharing this? Everybody hit that like button for me real quick. Okay, Kelly says 12 pick is our BPA. That's 2 BPAs. Okay. Kels, what if it's Jeremiah Love? You think the Cowboys going to draft a running back there? You're not wrong, Studwood Cowboy. If he's the best player available on the board, he's the best player available on the board. I just don't think the Cowboys would pick a first-round running back. That's just me. That's me. He would fit. I'm just saying, I don't. And a lot of that depending on what we're going to do with Javonte Williams. He ain't signed yet. Till he signs on the dotted line, who is our running back for next year? Javonte's not signed with us. Yeah, y'all not wrong. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing up that scenario. Not wrong at all. I was just asking if you say you would. Okay, cool. You say, would that be a Jerry Jones or a Shotty pick? Love. Well, Shotty loves the physical run game, and he loves big running backs. I think Love fits both. Shotty came in saying he loves the trenches. Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying that. I mean, y'all could be right. I see the benefit if it's Love. I just threw that out there because, the history says the Cowboys don't like no first-round running backs, not since Ezekiel Elliott. They believe in running back by committee. That's what they believe in. They believe in getting 2 or 3 guys and say, hey, this is our running game. So I don't know. Let me read this to you. Let me see if I can change your mind. Again, this is part B was my research, but it was my friend Marlon who came with this. I'm gonna let y'all. Let me listen. There's a real connection. I'm just reading it and let y'all figure it out. There is a real connection between Ryan Smith and the LSU cornerback Delaney, who is projected as a top 20 pick in this year's draft. So here we go. The LSU cornerback is Mansour Delaney, one of the top defensive back prospects in this year's draft. He's widely viewed as a potential first-round selection based on his playmaking ability and coverage and strong senior season at LSU. Ryan Smith, of course, is the new defensive back coach that was hired here by Christian Parker. Ryan Smith is the last year coach defensive backs at the Arizona Cardinals. And on the side note, he's my fraternity brother and my Sands. For those that don't understand that, we crossed together. Let me change it. We crossed in the same year, but in this particular instance, in 2011, we crossed in Indianapolis, Indiana, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So he's essentially one of my line brothers, if you want to call it that. Okay. Anyway, I ain't got nothing to do with football. I'm just trying to tell you there's a connection there. I have personally some messages in my phone from Ryan because we kept in touch in the last couple of years. I haven't talked to him since he was at Arizona, so it's been a minute. I have reached out to him, didn't get an answer, but he knows me. I know him. So hopefully I can get something there. But anyway, listen to me. Ryan Smith isn't being connected to Delanie because they played together. Listen, he coached Delanie early in his career. Before Delanie transferred to LSU, he played at Virginia Tech. While at Virginia Tech, Ryan Smith was the cornerbacks coach and pass game coordinator. Delanie has publicly cited Smith as one of the reasons he chose Virginia Tech originally, pointing to their relationship and Smith's influence on his development. You may be saying, okay, oh boy, why does that matter? Smith has moved on to NFL coaching role, most recently hired as Dallas Cowboys cornerbacks coach in the league. Ryan Smith coached the LSU cornerback early in his college career, and it established a relationship. It's part of the reason why people are talking about Delanie potentially going high in the draft. So, Cliff Note version, Ryan Smith, who's our new defensive coach, coached Mansour Delanie at Virginia Tech before he went to LSU. My best friend Marlon said he recruited him to Virginia Tech. Just in case you don't know who Ryan is, Ryan played cornerback at William and Mary. When we crossed Capitol, he was a cornerback at William and Mary. William and Mary is where Mike Tomlin first started his coaching career. I'm sorry. Mike played there himself at William and Mary. Do y'all see the connection? So, it's draft night, and you picking at 12. If you done all these mock drafts, you'll notice that Delanie is there at 12. I think everybody in here at least have done one mock draft at least. You'll notice that Delanie is there at 12. Kind of makes sense, don't it? Y'all put down a cornerback, right? Delanie, I believe, is the number one rated cornerback, at least as of now. The kid from Tennessee is number 2. Coy. Y'all said we need a corner, right? And y'all think that Ryan Smith is going to be knocking on that table saying, hey, I coached this guy. I know all about him. Know what he about. I know he a dog. You should pick him. You don't think Ryan ain't gonna fight for that? Oh, my bad. Christian Parker is a defensive back coach, right? Y'all know the resume of Christian Parker by now. Y'all heard who he's coached and who he's guided to Pro Bowl seasons, and just now left Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and they all pros this year, first team all pros. You don't think Christian Parker don't like cornerbacks? Interesting, isn't it? So you got a coach who I'm quite sure is already in the ear of everybody saying that this kid from LSU is the truth. Huh? I'm just saying. There's a connection there. A serious connection. And it kind of makes sense, don't it? I just want y'all to keep that in mind as we get closer and closer to the draft. I just want y'all to keep that in mind. That Ryan Smith and Delaney have a connection. A real good one. A deep one. And he's going to be, and he right at 12 is right about, you know, that's why some of y'all saying best player available. And what I'm saying is, I think the Cowboys going to be locked on somebody. And I ain't just saying it's got to be Delaney. I'm just saying, like, okay. I'm going to be saying that a few times between now and the draft. And I believe, at least on my end, the more I talk about it, because this kid hadn't even had his pro day yet. You know, I mean, come on now. I don't know if Delaney is going to be in the combine, but, other than an injury, I believe this kid is going to shine. You see how physical he is. If you haven't seen game tape on him, you probably need to go look at him. He's physical. I ain't talking about just with receivers. He hits people. Tremendous support in the run game. I'm talking about he hits people. He's sticky in coverage. Press man. But he can play zone and man. He excels at both. I mean, that's the best of both worlds, right? So thank you, Kales. He said Delaney will be at the combine. I'm just telling y'all, I don't want you to, I know I just read it to you. It may have clicked the light bulb, on the old cartoons, the light bulb right above your head. I just wanted to put that out there because I think that Delaney is going to definitely be one of the people that is going to be looked at with a hawk's eye. I believe Delaney will be also a guy that, the old saying is that if the Cowboys bring you on these visits, these 30 visits that they're allowed, those usually are the guys who they end up picking if they're available. I believe Delaney will be on that list for one of the 30 that's going to visit Dallas. It's all, I'm not saying it because I haven't seen it, but it's almost, I ain't gonna say it's almost, I ain't gonna say that. But that connection is there with Ryan Smith, obviously, and Delaney. It almost, it slightly mirrors Deuce Vaughn and his father. I'm not saying it's the same story. I'm just saying there's a real connection there like that. And I can see Ryan really banging on the door on it. And considering that Parker likes DBs and that's his specialty too. Come on now. It's not hard. Need y'all to keep that in mind next time y'all do a mock draft. Okay? Keep that in mind, that little information I just gave you. Thank you, Marlon, for sharing that with me earlier today. I think that's very valuable stuff there. That's a hot take. If that's Kales, that's a hot take right there that I just gave y'all. I gave you a little background. I really believe that this what I just said. I believe that this may be in the works at 12. At 12, I really believe it, and I'm saying that in spite of BPA, because that just sounds like something the Cowboys will do, and it wouldn't be a reach because that's what we need. I'm just saying. It wouldn't be a reach. We need a corner. We need a linebacker. We need edge. I mean, come on now. We need that. If it's a safety, we need safety. So it's not a reach at all. It's what's needed. And it's more needed to me. If I had a choice of Jeremiah Love and Delaney, I'm picking Delaney. That's me. And I don't care if Jeremiah Love rating is better than Delaney. I'm picking Delaney because it ain't too far off. It's not. I'm picking Delaney. I'm not picking the running back. I'm picking Delaney. It's just me. That's me. I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. If you want best player available for real, and Jeremiah Love is ranked 8th on your board and he done fell all the way to 12, it ain't nobody gonna be higher than 8th. Delaney may be 14th or 13th. I'm still picking Delaney. Not because Ryan talked to him. I'm just saying it's not that much of a gap there, and that's what we need. I'll get the number 1 corner off the board. I'll get the number 1 corner off the board. And he'll be on my team. I'll take it. Jeremiah Love is probably the number 1 running back, but where's the gap? Like, another question could be, where's the gap between Hood and Delaney? Where's the gap between Delaney and McCoy? Is there a huge gap? Is there a huge gap between Love and the second running back taken off the board? Is it that much of a gap? See what I'm saying? These are the questions I have. I mean, but I'd be ready to turn the card in. Me, if those are my choices now. Kales, help me out on this one. The sneaky one would be, and I think me and Kales were the first ones really to say this. Or at least since I've known her. I think we kind of fell up on it. She probably was saying it before me on another show. I'm not aware of that, but Kales, help me out on this. Let me show y'all another sneaky one. And I've been saying this for a while because this is how it worked out last year. Everybody was talking about weapons. Dak need weapons. Remember, we were talking about Matthew Golden and Ted McMillan and all that type of stuff because we figured Brandon Cooks was going to be gone. We need to get a wide receiver too for CD. We got to have a wide. And they were staying right there, not exactly because some of them got picked before that. We let Golden go, of course. And some of y'all were mad because we didn't pick Matthew Golden. And at the same time, it was a few of us that were saying, we need to get offensive linemen. We need to get offensive linemen. Y'all remember what happened? We got Booker and solidified that offensive line for God knows how long, barring injury. And we said that. And that's what they end up doing in the first round and got Booker. Great pick. Booker had an outstanding year, all rookie team. Probably should be in the Pro Bowl this year when you look at what he did this year. I'm projected all pro on him soon. He's that good. Here's though, Kels, help me out. Terrence Steele is a very wild card type dude. And I'm talking about the Cowboys. If they release him, then you don't have a right tackle. You don't. You don't have no right tackle. Please don't tell me nothing about Nate Thomas. I don't want to hear that. Man, you can play football with him, but I don't want to hear nothing about Nate Thomas. If you let go of Steele, no matter what y'all feel about Steele, the bottom line is you'll be losing a starting piece on your offensive line. Well, we've been saying we've been saying, like, I think Kels and I kind of met together and said, even though his stock is rising, but we was talking about that kid from Miami, Francis. I don't even want to butcher up his last name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Kels, spell it out for me, his last name, please. The tackle from the offensive tackle, right tackle, I may add, from Miami, who at first he might be there, then again he might not. His stock has risen a little bit lately, but he very well could be there at 12. if Steele has been released, doesn't that sound just like the Cowboys go get another first round lineman? I'm just saying, that's what they do now. That's what they do. And the idea of getting that guy, there he is, Francis Mauaga. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but if you do that, see, the Cowboys think like this. They always love first round linemen, but in this instance, and please do not get it mistaken. If you pick Francis Mauaga, or whatever his name is, at 12, it would be a great pick. I don't want y'all to get me misquoted. It would be a great pick if Steele is not there. If Steele is not here, that would be a great pick. Now, think like the Cowboys. All right? Listen, Mauaga. Thank you, Ken. Francis Mauaga. All right? Look how the Cowboys think. You got a very young Tyler Guyton who's gonna get better. You got a very young Tyler Smith at guard. You got a very young BB at center. You got a very young Tyler Booker at right guard. And now you add another young offensive tackle who's a monster at right tackle. I don't know if y'all ain't seen him. He's a dog. Their idea is saying, good Lord, we may have these guys barring injury, major injuries. We can have these guys maybe for the next 7-8 years together. You don't think this line couldn't be just dominant for not only Dak, but for whoever the other quarterback gonna be after Dak? See, this is called taking care of business for the present and the future at the same time with one guy. If you don't think the Cowboys ain't thinking like that, what did Brian Schottenheimer say last year? You got to win up front. I want to win in the trenches. I want to dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Well, let me tell you something. You get this kid here. If you get this kid here, if he's there, and if you let Steele go, if you made a decision that you're not gonna keep playing with Steele, and you release him, then I believe that this dude here comes into play now at 12, and that's over Delaney. See what I'm saying? And based off the history of the Dallas Cowboys, y'all already know how they love offensive linemen in the first round. You already know that. You already know. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's pay attention to what we do with Terrence Steele. That's going to kind of open things up too. Of course, we get money for Steele. Of course, we do that. Shane said if they sign Pickens, would they franchise Steele? You could, but I think their mind is made. I got a feeling they ready to move on from Steele. That's just me. They probably seen enough. I don't think they would do it either. There it is. Kelly just said they're gonna release him. If they release him, you got a hole on your offensive line, and I don't think that Nate Thomas is the answer. I don't. You can play football with him. You can. And you won't be bad. You won't be bad. I mean, Nate okay. Nate can play. But I just believe, I believe this kid may be in play, y'all. And some of y'all gonna be mad. Ooh, I can hear the steam coming off y'all face right now. Oh, if they pick another offensive lineman in the first round with 12 and then let some of these defensive guys go, y'all gonna be so mad. Kels made a great point. So I'm just saying, I know how the Cowboys work, and maybe there's a change in the air, and this is the change maybe that we're talking about, what Kels just put in. Said it probably wouldn't be in the best interest of the Cowboys to draft O-line at 12, based on the reason why CP decided to take the job, because what she's implying is that there's probably been a somewhat of a promise, if you want to call it that these guys are going to pick defense probably with those first 2 picks. I get that. I get it. I get that. I believe he's still coming to play, though. If Francis Muaga is there, if he's there, I believe he comes into play, at least at the discussion table, of who they're going to pick at 12. It very well could be a defensive player, but if Steele is cut, this dude comes into play. I believe that. Because it would be too much not like Jerry Jones and Steven. And on that note, Will too. Not to call this kid name out. They may not draft him, but I think he comes into play. He's in the discussion. And it makes sense. It makes sense. You posted the projected picks. Hey, what you done put up here? Okay, I see. I think everybody kind of noticed the main thing with our draft picks is that right there, that second and third round, nothing. When you get past the first 2 picks, 12 and 20, the next time you pick, you're going to go be picking from 20 and your next pick is at 112. That's what I was saying. And I think the Cowboys would love, like, trade that first round pick to 20. Let's just say somebody tried to move up. Well, you take that pick, you take their pick, which may be something like 24 or 23 or 25, still in the first round, but you made them also pay the price. They got to give up at least minimum a third pick, and now you back at least in the third round. And that very well may be worth it. You still got your 2 picks in the first round, but you picked up a third pick. I doubt you get a second, but who knows? I think that's you may get a player with the pick. Who knows? Because I guarantee you, teams are going to be calling. I think teams are going to call for both of them, but they really going to be calling. The phone's going to be ringing hot for that 20th pick from the Cowboys. Because teams know that the Cowboys don't have a pick in the second and third round. And teams are going to want to move up. I'm just telling you, this is how the draft go. And I think some teams are going to offer the Cowboys some nice packages, but, it's just up to them. A lot of y'all want us to draft both picks right there at 12 and 20. I don't have no problem with that. I don't have no problem with it at all. I don't have no problem with it at all. It's cool. But I also don't have a problem with trading back a little bit and pick up a third. I don't have no problem with that. There's some real good football players in that second and third round. Real good. Real good football players that's going to make an impact immediately. You got some real good guys in there. You got some guys in the fourth round. Cowboys could just do it straight out. First 2 picks in the first round, wait until the fourth round, and keep going from there. They'll be all right doing that too. There's some players in the fourth and fifth round. If you've been doing mock drafts, you know what I'm talking about. There's some players there. It's serious. I'm talking about some real good football players. They got a chance to make an impact immediately. The Jacob Rodriguez's, those guys, the Texas Tech linebacker. Kelly, from the linebacker from BYU. Dan Kelly, I believe that's his name. Listen, it's some guys. Some guys there. Got some good corners late. I'm serious. It's some guys there. So it's a lot of options the Cowboys have. But pay attention to that Steele thing. I'm just putting it out there. Scales give you what the war room look like. There's more so the scouts and the coaches that will duke it out in the war room. Steven now signs off, and McClay makes the call. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She said that Seattle may make the call. They either drafted their first round pick is, I don't know. Do they have a first round? When they was Donald a free agent or did they trade for him? I'm sorry. I don't keep up with Sam Donald. I know he's the quarterback. I know he's in Minnesota last. No, he was a free agent. So it's not that. So Seattle is going to be drafting at 31 or 32. And the Super Bowl is one of the two. They might want to move up. It's like Kels is saying there. You see what's going on? That phone, look, that phone is going to ring at 20. I'm quite sure with a plethora of offers. Which one is the sexiest? That's the bottom line. I'm telling y'all, I wouldn't be surprised. All right. I think that's really all I want to talk about on just for this minute here. I think so. If not, I'll catch it probably tomorrow or whatever the case may be. I believe that's what I want to talk about. Something else that I want to say. What y'all want to talk about real quick? I'll let y'all have this last couple of minutes. Y'all put in something real quick. See if y'all test my gangster. Y'all test my gangster. Exactly, Kels. Fourth round is where the stock is. Listen, if y'all don't understand, go do a mock draft. Just draft. Don't trade back. Don't do nothing. Just take what the draft give you first, your 2 picks in the first round, and then just let it happen. And then you'll see in the 4th round, just look at some of these names that's going to be there. You'll be surprised. Appreciate you, Studwood. Let's just see how Jerry Jones is quiet right now. Just leave him alone. He gonna show up. Trust me. He coming with his stories and all that. Right now it's still leaning toward the coaching staff, making sure we get everybody hired defensively. It's real simple. That way, getting ready for the Senior Bowl coming up. And then it's time to start getting ready for zero targeting in on the draft and prospects. Since we'll have the coaching staff there, now they can get with Will and Steven and say, okay, this is what we're going to run. This is my system. These are the type of players that I need. In other words, these are the prototype guys. Then it's Will's job and the scouting department to find those dudes or whatever they're doing. I'm sorry, the Senior Bowl was there. I'm sorry. What am I talking about? One brain though. Why am I trying to make the Senior Bowl the East-West Shrine game act like it's gonna happen? Thank you, Kids. Brain ain't working. But anyway, they're going to start zeroing in on what they want. And it's up to the scouting department to figure this thing out. They're going to have their eyes. The coaching staff going to have their eyes. Scouts going to have their eyes. And that's where the war will begin. And here we go. But as far as Jerry and Steven go, the question is, who are we re-signing and at what price? Who are you going to sign Javonte with? What's his salary going to be? Because he deserves a raise. Are you going to re-sign Javonte? Are you going to re-sign Jadeveon Clowney? How about that? Because Clowney played himself into a slight raise. We already know about the Pickens deal. We know you got to do something. I ain't even call his name out because we know we got to handle that. But what about all the other spots? Are we gonna release? Are we gonna release Terrence Steele? When are you gonna restructure Dak Prescott and CD's contract? So you can free up the money so you can go fishing in free agency. Leo the Greek, I don't know about that. Will got too many Pro Bowlers on his record to say that he screws up drafts. Problem with the Cowboys is not the draft. The problem with the Cowboys have always been after the draft. When the coaches get their hands on the players and the systems get put in place, and that's when things start going downhill. The draft has always been pretty good. See what I'm saying? Got too many Pro Bowlers, too many All Pros that goes against what you just said, Leo. That ain't never been the problem. No, you can't hit on every draft. There have been some busts. But overall, the Cowboys predominantly have been known as, you've heard it for years, one of the most talented rosters in the league. How many years have we heard that? But that's got Will's handprint all over that. So we can't say that. Revel is not damaged goods. They put Revel out there too early. He wasn't fully recovered. We'll see what he offers this year. Everybody knows about the ACL, that you don't come back until you're not yourself until after the first year. Everybody knows that. He played on it less than a year. So we can't say that about Revel yet. No, you can't say everybody's a Pro Bowl. The ones that are Pro Bowlers earned it. Dak Prescott earned to be a Pro Bowler this year. Lord knows George Pickens earned to be a Pro Bowler this year. You can make an argument to say CD shouldn't be one, considering he missed all the game. Avante Turpin earned the right to be a Pro Bowler this year again. We ain't got to say nothing about Brandon Aubrey. You know he's a Pro Bowler, so it ain't just everybody's a Pro Bowler. No, sir. Tyron Smith, I mean, come on now. Those are, I just named you probably about 3 or 4, and they are considered the best in their position. Just the truth. Just the truth. Overshown is not a Pro Bowler. You make a better case about Overshown being damaged goods than Revel. I got to see a little bit more than Revel than that. Overshown has been consistently hurt every year. So I give you that. I ain't got nothing to do with see you one of those Leo. I can tell you one of those haters. It's only 25% fan vote, but the reason why Shedeur Sanders made the Pro Bowl is because nobody else wanted to go to the Pro Bowl. You're running out of quarterback. I mean, that's the reason why he made it. So I don't even worry about that. When every other quarterback has turned it down, then Sanders is one of the few left. Everybody know his stats don't match up to be a Pro Bowl caliber player this year. But if nobody wants to play, then somebody got to get it, right? That's the reason why he's there. So we're not going to argue about does Sanders really belong in the Pro Bowl? No, he don't. You know he does not. We all know that. That's common sense. Did you say, what did Tyler Smith really do? He whooped tail this year. That's what he did. That's what Tyler Smith did. He considered wanted to be one of the best guards in the league. You know that. I don't even know why you even see, Leo. You really. And then in the case of Shedeur Sanders, you know, it's a popularity contest as well. And for this whole year, there was not too many guys whose jerseys sold more than Shedeur Sanders. So it benefits the NFL to have a guy that made them some money and put them in there. I'm just saying, common sense. It's not hype. He ain't have a good year. I'm just saying that you're not factoring in that nobody didn't want to play in it. Everybody turned it down. I think Joe Flacco is a Pro Bowl quarterback this year. Come on now. Just ain't Shador. There's a whole bunch of guys in there that, back in the old days in the Pro Bowl, some of these guys' name wouldn't even be called. But you to call that talking about what did Tyler Smith really do? Oh my God, sir. What? Come on now. Tyler Smith punished people this year. That's what he did. He knocked folks backwards. That's what he did. Hey, he's the high. Look, come on now. I'm just saying. It is what it is. All right, what is y'all? Was the Leo just talking right now? I ain't got time to talk. Anybody else got something else to say? he just going down the list like the players voted these guys in. Players that vote Shador and Tua and all them guys in. The guys with nobody was left. Nobody. Pro Bowl doesn't have the same value that it had back in the day. What's up, Mr. Burns? I'm about to get off now. Mason Sanders plays in Drake May, and he was next in line with the highest vote. Popularity contest. Thank you, Kez. There your answer is right there. There your answer is. Fans who are involved in the voting, they like Shador. There you go. Are you crazy, Leo? Leo, are you a Dallas Cowboy fan? I just got to ask that question because every time you come to the show, you have some of these statements. Y'all look at this statement what Leo said. What? What? Are you kidding me? No, you cannot. You cannot replace Tyler Smith with just anybody. No, you cannot. I can't let you do that to yourself, Leo. You're not showing. I know you have an IQ in football. I know you do. Right? That statement right there is showing that you're not looking at good game film now. It's not. You're not looking at good game film. I don't know what film you looked at to come to that conclusion. But I don't know where you got that from, Leo. So I'm trying to help you. They're trying to help you. You're not looking right with that statement right there. All right. I got a final question here. He says, you think they're going to re-sign Clark? Clark is already signed. They just need to restructure his deal. He's a Cowboy. They need to restructure his deal, though. He's not a free agent. He's not a free agent. He's here. So we're good with him. They're just going to have to do something with that cap hit, which I'm quite sure they will. Okay? It's all good. All right. I'm done. Appreciate y'all, man. I ain't want to come too heavy tonight with a lot of stuff. I just wanted to introduce y'all to those that don't know about Ryan Clark's. Not Ryan Clark. Ryan Smith, I'm sorry. The defensive back coach for the Cowboys, new defensive back coach, his relationship with Delaney from LSU, the cornerback. There's a connection there. I think you can't overlook that. I think that means something. It don't mean that they're going to draft him, but I believe that his name, if he's there at 12, will be highly, I believe that name is going to be in a lot of discussion at 12, especially now. Stephen Jones, the seeds for Pickens already. They use the media to their advantage, or try to at least. I already see some signs of that. Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, whoever asked that question about Clark, here it is here. As I said, he's on the contract. They're both there for 2 years, and in other words, when you say both are on their former teams, but in other words, the Packers and the Jets are paying them. That's what she's saying on that. So we good with those two. Solid. Kenneth Clark and Quinn Williams. All right. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. I'm getting out of here. Y'all have a good evening. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. We'll try it again. Today is Monday. I might come on tomorrow. Turn on those live notifications. That way you won't miss me when I go live. It'll come straight to your phone, the notifications. You can do that now, as soon as you get off. All right. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'll see you next time. This has been the one and the only, the Big Time Show.